Hi Sparks, Leader Rose here. Today I'm going to share to you something I've been working very hard on. So these are face masks. So these are non-medical face masks that you can wear, say if you're going out because you need something essential, like supplies, or you're going to go with your parents somewhere. So they're really good to wear if you are going anywhere that could be possibly a challenge to social distance. So today I'm going to show you how to make one. So I'm just going to put the camera right there. So I've already cut my fabric, and today I picked some nice awesome frozen fabric. So I have two pieces that need to go on the outside of the mask, and then I have two pieces that need to go on the inside of the mask. So the first step is, after I cut them, to sew them together. So when I'm done that, it will just look like this. And then my Elsa actually goes on the inside. So then next is to attach the exterior to the interior fabric. So by doing that, I'm going to open it just like this, and I'm going to line up my seams. And so these are seams, the line, and I'm going to line them up. And then I'm about to start sewing them together. So when I sew them together, I want to leave some space and hop over where I'm going to put my elastic in after. Okay, so I'm going to start sewing, and so it's just going to be a little loud. There we go. I'm going to skip over because that's where my elastic is going. Skip over again, and this is my last time. There we go. So I'm going to trim this thread just like that. Perfect. So does this look like a face mask? I don't think just yet. This is where the magic happens. I'm going to trim this one as well. So as you see, On is on the inside, and we just need to switch her. So I'm going to turn my mask inside out and pull out our princess. There we go. And then you just got to flatten it out, make sure we got everything inside out. Now outside in. There we go. So that's how we make a face mask. And then for my last step, I would measure the size of elastic I need depending on the age or person, and then I would add my elastic. So thanks so much for watching my video.
Hi everyone, we're here making bread in a bag, and Claire, who is in Brownies, is going to show us how. First, she's going to put 1 cup of flour. She's going to level it off with her knife. Make sure it's exact. Right, and then she's going to put it in a large Ziploc bag. That's our first ingredient. And then she's going to put some water in. We'll do this first, Claire, because it's cooling down. We need the water to be at about 105 degrees, which is, if you just run your tap as hot as you can, and you're just going to pour that in, that's 1 cup of hot water. And then we're going to put sugar in. That's 3 tablespoons of white sugar. And then we're going to put in 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast. And she's going to close off, Anna's going to help her, just close off the bag. And we're going to try and make sure there's not too much air in there so she's able to knead it properly with her hands. Perfect. Now Claire's just gonna mix the bag with her hands and get it all mixed together. Kind of knead it with your hands, that's right. So it's gonna create a bit of a dough. And for bread, we need to use yeast and sugar and hot water. And it actually will, the yeast will grow when we let this bag sit, and it'll give off some gases, and it'll create air bubbles, and that's what makes bread rise. So we're gonna get all those little lumps out. Can you see those lumps, Claire? You wanna keep kneading it and get those lumps out. And once we're finished kneading, we're going to set it aside for 10 minutes. And we did ours ahead of time, but while it's resting, we greased 2 loaf pans. We're gonna make 2 loaves of bread. So we'll be back in a bit after this is kneaded and rested. Okay, so we're back after, hold on Claire, 1 sec.
Yep.
We're back after waiting 10 minutes, and you can see how there's lots of air bubbles and the yeast is activating and it's getting all squishy and air bubbly. So now Claire's going to open up the bag and she's going to pour 1 cup of flour in. She's going to pour 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And she's going to pour 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And then she's going to close the bag up again. Julia this time is going to help. Try and get a little bit of the air out, Julia, so it's easier to knead. Now we have to get all the ingredients mixed together, right? Okay, now Claire's gonna knead it so it's all mixed together. Okay, so Claire has gotten all nice and mixed together so it's all one color. You don't see any lumps of flour or anything like that. So we have 1 more cup of flour to add. So we're just gonna open the bag and add another cup of flour. This is the last bit of flour we need to add. That's it. And Jules is gonna come in and help us close it. And it's kind of better if you don't have any air in the bag. It's easy, seems to make it easier to knead. There, and now Claire's going to knead again. I'm gonna get all that flour mixed together. Shake it around, knead it together. Really smoosh it. Okay, so we added our last cup of flour and we got it mixed together. And then we lightly floured our surface, that's right. And now we're gonna knead the dough. This is where we get our hands nice and messy. And it'll be a little bit sticky, but the more that you knead it, the more it will come together. And eventually, it'll come into a nice, smooth ball. And get all those little pieces there, Clary. There you go, good girl. So I was just showing Clary how to knead her dough, and see how she pushes down with her hand and then folds it back, and that'll make the dough nice and smooth. But really, whichever way you want to knead it is fine. There you go. Pull it back. There you go. Okay, so we together got the dough kneaded. It does take some elbow grease, right? You have to use your muscles, right, Claire?
Yes.
Yeah, we kneaded it for about 10 minutes before it got smooth. And we divided it into 2 lumps. They're kind of long and more long and skinny. And now Claire's going to place each of them into a loaf pan that's greased. And we have to let them set and they'll start to rise because that yeast is in there and we need to get it to do its job again. So Claire's going to keep it warm by putting a tea towel over top. And we're just gonna let it sit just like that, nice and quiet, for 30 minutes. Okay, so we've let our bread proof, which means it's doing its second rise. And Claire's gonna take off the tea towel and see how much they've risen. Wow, so they've doubled, which is what we want. Doubled in size, right, Clary? Okay, so can you get off your step stool? And this is the part where you definitely need an adult, or in this case, a really, really big sister. And she's gonna put them in the oven. And Claire, can you set the timer for 25 minutes?
Yes.
25 minutes in the oven, and they're gonna get all nice and golden brown. And we'll check back. Okay, Clary, how many seconds do we have left?
18.
18 seconds. So as soon as the timer goes off, we will open up the door and let Anna take out our bread. Okay. Wow. What do you think, Claire?
They look good.
Yeah, how do they smell?
Good.
Yeah? Thumbs up?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Just so everybody knows, we've attached the recipe to the email for the week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Alma and How She Got Her Name. Written and illustrated by Juana Martinez Neal. Narrated by Adriana Sananez.
Alma, Sofia, Esperanza, José, Pura Candela had a long name. Too long, if you asked her. My name is so long, Daddy. It never fits, Alma said. Come here, he said. Let me tell you the story of your name. Then you decide if it fits. Sofia was your grandmother, he began. She loved books, poetry, jasmine flowers, and, of course, me. She was the one who taught me how to read. I love books and flowers. And you too, Daddy. I am Sofia. Esperanza was your great-grandmother, he continued. She hoped to travel, but never left the city where she was born. Her only son grew up to cross the 7 seas. Wherever her sailor son went, so did Esperanza's heart. The world is so big. I want to go see it, Daddy. You and me together. am Esperanza. Jose was my father, Alma's daddy said. He was an artist with a big family, like many people had back then. Early each morning, he walked to the mountains and the plazas to paint everyday life. Sometimes I went along. Your grandfather taught me to see and love our people. I wake up early every day, and I draw a lot too. This morning, I drew a kitty cat for you, Daddy. I am Jose. Pura was your great aunt. She believed that the spirits of our ancestors are always with us, watching over us. When you were born, she tied a red string around your wrist, a charm to keep you safe. Hello, Pura. It's me, Alma. Candela was your other grandmother. She always stood up for what was right. Escucha. Piensa. Denuncia. I am Candela. I love the story of my name. Now, tell me about Alma, Daddy. Where does that come from? I picked the name Alma just for you. You are the first and the only Alma. You will make your own story. Alma, Sofía, Esperanza, José, Pura, Candela. That's my name, and it fits me just right. I am Alma, and I have a story to tell. Alma. A note from Juana. My name is Juana Carlota Martinez Pizarro. My father named me Juana after his mother, Juana Francisca. My mother chose the name Carla to honor the memory of her uncle, Carlos. My father was a man of decisions, so when it was time to register my birth, he changed Carla to Carlota on the birth certificate. He was convinced that Juana Carlota was the mighty name he wanted for his daughter. Thanks to that change, I got stuck with what I thought was the most old-fashioned, harsh, ugly, and way too Spanish name in all of Lima, Peru, where I grew up. Little did I know that later on, after I moved to the United States, it would feel unique and remind me every day of where I come from. What is the story of your name? What story would you like to tell?
I hope you really like that story. I'm going to challenge you guys to talk to your parents about your names, maybe your middle names, your last names, your first names, and ask what they mean. And really think about that. Then what I want you to do is come back to this video and have a look at these images that you're going to see next here. read it all with your family, and I want you to pick out at least 15 words that you believe describes yourself. 15 at least. It can be any of the words that are in here, or any words that you come up with or your family comes up with. And then I'm going to have the Sparks leaders also come up with some words for each one of you. And I'm going to make something special out of it for the end of the year. So if you do anything out of these videos today, please make sure you do this. Have your parents shoot me an email with the words or send me a text message. Either way is fine, and it'll give me a chance to work on this for our ending ceremony. I forgot to include a picture of how our beans are doing, how they're growing, so I thought I would do that right here so you can see. So it looks like they're growing leaves now, and they've got lots of roots. So we're going to plant them this week when the weather's a bit nicer.
Hey guys, and we're gonna do an awesome experiment. It's called the magic potion. Mama?
Okay, so today we're going to need 4 tablespoons of hot water. You might want to get your parents to help you with that. I just grabbed it from the top. 6 tablespoons of oil, which is right here. Yep. 4 teaspoons of vinegar. Yep. And then I just put some baking soda here. The exact amount doesn't really matter, but I put a little scoop here so we can scoop our baking soda in afterwards. And we need some food coloring of your choice.
You get to choose any kind.
Yep.
So.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do is add the hot water to our glass. Okay, and then we're going to add our vinegar. And then our food coloring. Just a few drops. Yeah. And I'll give you this butter knife to stir it up, Kenz. Perfect. Okay. And then next we're going to add the cooking oil. We've got some canola oil here. Okay. So what you can see is that the cooking oil sits on top of the water. And the vinegar and the water are actually separate too, but it's a little hard to see because of the food coloring in there right now. Okay, so to get our magic potion going, Kenzie's gonna add some of the sodium bicarbonate, which is the baking soda here, and we'll see what happens. So if you have a look here, you can see that the sodium bicarbonate, or the baking soda, moves kind of slowly through the oil and then down through the water, and it reaches the vinegar at the bottom. When it touches the vinegar, it creates a chemical reaction. So it reacts with the acidic acid of the vinegar, and it gives off carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is a gas, and it's creating these bubbles that we're seeing in the potion right now. So as it is a gas, it bubbles through the liquid of the solution. So if you listen here in a minute, when we get it a little bit more going, you're going to hear the bubbling sound. So that sound is typical of a chemical reaction. That's what you're hearing. So just listen here for a minute and you'll hear it. Can you hear that bubbling?
You might think it's going to explode, but it's not going to explode because last night we did it and it does not explode. But it might explode.
There we go. Woo!
It might explode, but it's having a chemical reaction party.
Hear that?
It's a chemical reaction party. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so you can keep adding baking soda to it. Get the reaction to happen. Okay guys, so we're going to do one more experiment. Bear with us, it's a little windy out here, so you might not be able to hear us too well. I'll record over it if I need to. So we've got some hot water here, and some vinegar, and some baking soda. So this is another experiment you can do with that. Okay, so what you're going to need here is a Ziploc bag, and we're going to fill it a quarter full of water, and then we're going to top that up with enough vinegar to fill half the bag. So your bag is going to be half full of vinegar and water, and should be the same parts of vinegar to water. The water should be hot. So I'm going to get Kenzie to add it here now. So there goes our hot water, and here is our vinegar. Now I'm just going to get her to hang on to this bag for a moment. So now I'm going to add some baking soda onto this paper towel. You're going to then fold it up so that it stays nice in there. So you can do it with Kleenex, paper towel, whatever you've got. But we want to fold it up so it stays inside. And then I'm going to get Kenz to videotape this part. So it's a little tricky. You might need a grown-up to help you out here. Okay, so what you're going to need to do is start to zip the Ziploc bag up at the top. But you're going to want to hold the paper towel and baking soda through the bag so that it doesn't touch the vinegar yet. So now that your bag is completely sealed up, you're going to put it on the ground or throw it on the ground outside and back away from it. You should see that the bag starts expanding, and that's because the sodium bicarbonate and the vinegar are getting mixed and a chemical reaction is happening, giving off carbon dioxide. The gas needs space, so as it fills the bag with gas, the bag can't hold it anymore and explodes. It's a pretty cool reaction to watch. Hope you guys enjoy it. I've had a few emails and text messages asking more about the badges and where we might have earned them, what they mean. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do a video here to explain that and walk us through what we did this year and why we earned these badges. So in the section of Guiding Together, under our story, we earned that by doing Intro to Sparks, Craft and Guiding Songs, and the Get to Know You survey. The next one, Spirit Guiding, was when we did our Valentine's for Vets, Valentine's Day Party and Crafts, Mother's Day Tea in our own homes, and we made some invitations for the enrollment ceremony, and whenever we did some teamwork games. The next one is under Global Guiding. That's when we did our St. George Guiding Day. We also did a little bit of communication with some Girl Guides in the UK, which was pretty cool. So that gives us a check mark for our Guide Together badge because we earned all 3 of those badges. The next section is Into the Outdoors. The first badge in this section is Our Shared Planet. We earned that badge by meeting reptiles and doing a cleaning up an oil spill experiment. Nature Discoveries, we did a terrarium craft from Walter's Greenhouse, some nature mandalas, nesting materials experiment, and nature bingo. We also looked at different nesting materials for bunny rabbits, what they use. The next one is Camping Skills and Adventure, which we'll be learning next week. We're going to do a camp in at our own homes and hopefully have a Zoom meeting. I'll be talking more about that later on in the week. So that is the Into the Outdoors section. We get a check mark for our Into the Outdoors badge. Our next section is Building Skills. Early on in the year, we did our Money Sense badge by building a piggy bank. We talked about saving money, donating money, and spending money, and different ways we can make money as well. Next, we did Life Stuff. And under our Life Stuff badge, we met a veterinarian and we did a lot of leadership games. Under How To, the next badge, we did some Depression era tarts. We made painted cookies. We made a sock bunny. Talked about growing beans, making flower and herb perfume, bread in a bag in this video, and how tea is made in the last video. So by earning all 3 of those badges, Money Sense, Life Stuff, and How To, we then earn our larger badge, the Build Skills badge. So we'll give that a check. Our next section is Explore Identities. We earned the Being You badge when we did our scrapbook at the beginning of the year, the Invisible String Story and Craft, and dressing up in costumes. Next, we earned Different Together by making some treats for the seniors at Russell Heights and caroling for them. Gender Power we earned by speaking with a female veteran speaker and meeting some female officers at the Brantford Police Service. So by earning all 3 of these badges, we then earn our Explore Identities badge. The next section is Experiment and Create. We earned our Science Lab badge this week by doing our magic potion experiment and the explosive bag experiment. Design Space was when we did our Sparks STEM challenge and the marble maze. And then under Art Studio, we did our Mother's Day salt dough craft, Remembrance Day rocks, Easter egg paper craft, painting with nature, and making a dream catcher. So by earning all 3 of these badges, we earned the Experiment and Create badge. So just going to slide this up a little bit, and then we'll check that off for you. There. Okay, so the next one after that was Local Communities. We earned this badge by seek and find pictures in the community. We did our window bear hunt, field trip to the cenotaph, rainbow scavenger hunt in the community. In this video, Rose talks about how she made some masks to help people in our community. And our Sparks did a lot of chalk art out front of their houses this month as well. Now, the rest of the badges you see here are second year's Sparks earned during their first year. Our first year Sparks will then earn this next year when they're doing their second year. I hope that explains the badges a bit more for you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email or a text message. I'd be happy to help.